This show promises to be a laugh a minute, right, Casey? They honored the seniors as the collisions are unavoidable. So celebrate Sports Night with us. Red always does. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. And boy, do we have a jam-packed show today.
We do.
We can't banter much.
Stuff right off the presses, and we're talking playoffs.
Playoffs!
Already. It's happened, and we've got video from this afternoon.
We do.
But yeah, a lot to talk about, and we'll get right into it, talking about the football team. Cardinals have a tough road game at Maple Grove this week after letting kind of a weird one slip away from them against Anoka. Cardinals took their opening drive down to the Anoka 1-yard line on Friday night, and then the game was halted and suspended until Saturday morning due to lightning in the area. Still, the Cardinals built an early lead, but then things kind of spiraled the wrong way. Please forgive the camera work. It's been a while since I tried to shoot football. Cardinals do pick up where they left off. 3rd and goal from the 1. Jacob Maddock will sneak it right up the middle into the end zone, and the Cardinals are on the board. Anoka answers, pushing their way in for a 1-yard Luke Duchesne touchdown. They had a 2-point conversion, and they take an 8-7 lead. We're still in the first quarter. Cardinals with 2nd down near midfield, and Jacob Maddock is airing it out. Lofton Ogroski behind the defense and easily into the end zone to get the Cardinals back in front. Cardinal defense forced a punt. Where'd the ball go? I lost track of it, but we'll find it. Oh, wait. There it is. It's in the hands of a kid named Kyjon Cummings-Colming, and he's doing what he does, outrunning everybody to the end zone. Unfortunately, this one would come back on a hold near the 30-yard line. Fortunately, the Cardinals still able to score on the drive. Upcoming early in the second quarter, Maddock airing it out again, this time down the left seam to Jared Fearing. That's a 37-yard score, and the home team feeling good, up 21-8. Tornadoes cut into the lead before the half, though. Trips left, but they go right. Trey Borchers in the back corner. Another 2-point conversion. It's 21-16. Defensive battle in the second. Cardinals backed up in their own end. Tornadoes bring the pressure. Maddock throws it away from the end zone. Intentional grounding. That's a safety. Then a quick strike as they get the ball to Terrell Cummings. He breaks free right up the middle, a 35-yard touchdown. Anoka up 26-21. Cardinals offense finds their rhythm again early in the fourth. Maddock to Ogroski, a 15-yard score. Ogroski had 136 yards, 2 scores. Cards back in front, but only for a short time. Anoka right back down the field. Zachary Welsh in from the 3. Another 2-point conversion, 33-27 Tornadoes. Cardinals had their chances to answer. Maddock had a nice game, 240 yards, 3 scores, no picks. Another long gainer, this time down the sideline to Brandon Waldron. One of 4 completions of over 35 yards. This one's down inside the 5, but that's where the drive stalls, because on first down, they flow right through the Cardinals offensive line like water through a sieve, dropping for a 14-yard loss. On 4th and goal, looking for Ogroski. He's looking for a flag. It's not going to come. After one of the defense's 4 interceptions, Cardinals offense getting right back to the doorstep. Ogroski, a spectacular catch down inside the 10. Unfortunately, Cardinals keep knocking but can't come in. Fearing almost came up with the juggling catch. He looks for a flag. No infraction there. 4th and goal, and that's a ball game. Blanket coverage on Fearing in the near corner, and they fall 33-27. We showed you the graphic last week. 3 teams were at 3-1. 3 teams were at 2-2. All 3 of those teams at 3-1 won. All 3 of the teams at 2-2 lost. Now a big just not for that 4th place spot. Next week is huge, and it's against one of the leaders, Maple Grove.
I was up on the roof cheering you on while you were filming that, and you know, didn't turn out as well as you'd wanted it to, but you did a fine job.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it.
That was
better.
Yeah, that was a tough loss for them because they had their opportunities to win. You know,
4 interceptions. The defense was solid, especially in the second half. 4 interceptions. Unfortunately, the offense turned it over on downs 4 times in the game, including twice inside the 10
Correct.
goal-to-go situations in the fourth quarter.
They certainly had their chances. Give credit to Anoka's defense for really shutting down Kai. They doubled him all night long, or I should say all afternoon long, and it was tough. Only one target on the evening or in the afternoon, and that makes it tough when you don't get your best playmaker involved. And I'm not saying it's anything the Cardinals didn't do. It's because he was blanketed for most of the night.
They still need to find a way to get the hand. He did have one of those 4 interceptions, and it was an impressive one down the sideline on a long throw. Ripped it away, made a nice return. He had the punt return, trying to find ways to impact the game. But you have to get that ball into the hands of your playmaker.
You do.
Maple Grove will do the same thing. They're going to be all over him. The secret's out. Kaijon Cummings-Coleman, a pretty good ball player. He's going to get a lot of attention. The other guys have some talent, and they can do some things even without him when they only look his way one time. But if you want to beat some of these top teams, I think you got to get the ball in his hands more often. Let him impact the game. At Maple Grove on Friday, and then they come home for homecoming against Blaine on the following Thursday. We're hoping things will change, but at this time, this moment, right now, we may not be allowed to broadcast the game from Maple Grove.
Call your senators, call your congressman, complain.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Things will change.
Yeah, you're right, and we talked about just one final point on football. Lofton Nagroski. Boy, did he have a heck of a game.
He had a great game.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to go on a recruiting trip on Saturday.
Yeah, no way he was going to miss it.
Supposed to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fortunately for the Cardinals, he stayed in town, 136 yards, 2 scores. Tennis team wrapped up the regular season last week with a visit from the Rogers Royals, and the Royals were not very hospitable. They sweep the Cardinals 7-0. All of those end in straight sets, and a couple of them just 0-6, 1-6 scores.
Well, we promised you some video hot off the press. Fresh off it. Well, the tennis team, they opened the section tournament this afternoon on their home courts. Cardinals were the 11th seed, and they welcomed number 14 Osseo to the pivot courts. The winner moves on to face number 6 Champlain Park on Wednesday. First meeting of the year for these longtime rivals, and the season was on the line. First singles, Gabby Newton using her strong ground strokes to control the court on her way to a 6-1, 6-2 win. She handled that one really well. Michelle Lee in the near court for the Cardinals, just a beautiful backhanded drop shot. She's got the whole court for the winner. Unfortunately, she lost 4-6, 1-6. Avery Anderson taking on Osceo's Allie Wyman at third singles, and Anderson has her way on with this one. Solid 6-1, 6-1 win. We're going to move to fourth singles. Great point right here for freshman Caitlin Easton. Shows off her court coverage and her touch. Easton also wins by a score of 6-1, 6-1. While the Cards shuffling the deck a bit at doubles, Abby Szyminski playing with Macy Ruddy at first doubles. They're able to win this point, but fall to the Orioles 1-6, 3-6. Adrian Hayden and Casey Beck team up at second doubles. Hayden with a great play at the net for the point. Hayden and Beck win a hard-fought 6-4, 6-4 win. And then Natalie Hansen and Ashley Kivola get the insurance win with a tiebreaker at third doubles, 2-6, 6-2, 12-10. And the Cards are going to fly on to the next round with a 5-2 win.
Yeah, this is a look at the subsection because the section's so big. It's 14 teams. Those were the pigtail. That was the pigtail round. Now you get into the first round. Still waiting are the top 4 teams that have buys into the quarterfinal round. Champlain Park, the number 6 seed, had the bye to get this far. But great to see the Cardinals get a win and keep their season alive. Get a home. It's almost better to be that number 11 seed and get the home
court
than to be a 6 or 7 or would that be 8 or 9 seed and be on the road, or even 10. 10th seed was home. 10th and 11th seeds were home for those 2 games. So we will have results for you next week on Sportsnight on that. Individual tournament starts on the 16th of this month. Volleyball team is coming off a busy week in 2 home games against conference opponents and a tournament on Saturday. It started with a visit from Spring Lake Park on Tuesday. The Panthers are a 500 club sitting right in the middle of the standings on the other side of the conference. They would be tough, but the Cardinals knew they were beatable. Early in the first set, Cardinals playing with the lead and playing with confidence. Nice kill for Bella Nelson through the block. The Cardinals just could not pull away. Instead, it was the Panthers getting the big run in the opening set. 14 unanswered points, and they never looked back. Kenna Labansky with the kill on this point and helping Spring Lake Park secure a 25-12 win in the first. Panthers keep the momentum into the second, scoring the first 8 points on their way to a 25-14 victory. Addison France showing her power on that point. Visitors take the 2-0 lead. Cardinals down but not out, fighting for their lives in the third. Great defensive shutdown. Nelson and Lydia Foster there for the stuff. Coon Rapids led the third set almost start to finish. They were able to close it out strong. Tatum Shevchuk attacking. They win 25-21 and force a fourth set. Cardinals started strong in the fourth, and it was tight to the very end. Spring Lake Park able to hold the lead down the stretch. They win in 4, 25-22, the final in the fourth.
A much tougher test for the Cardinals on Thursday when they welcome conference-leading Champlin Park. The Rebels were ranked 3rd in the state, and with all of their losses to other teams in the top 5. It was all the Cardinals could do to just keep the scores close. If the Cardinals were intimidated, they certainly didn't show it. They come out firing strong in the first set. Bella Nelson with a power blast off Gilk near the back line, but Champlin Park jumped to the lead early, and they ran away with it in the first set. Strong defense at the net. Lily Reese with the block in the middle. Rebels coast to a 25-9 win in the opening set. Cardinals able to keep a little closer in the second, especially early on. Good turn off the serve receive right here. They set it up for Tatum Shevchuk. Shevchuk knocks it down. But again, the Rebels just had way too much power. Reese in the middle gets the kill for the point. Champlin Park takes the commanding 2-0 lead with a 25-12 victory. Cardinals fighting for their lives in the third, and they put together some good points. Shevchuk's attack sent back to the net. Bella Nelson there to fire it to the floor. But Champlin has so much skill all over the floor. Good volley going here until the Rebels. Carly Gilk ends it from midcourt. The Rebels are going to sweep up at the Fieldhouse. 25-14, the final in the third, Joe, and they were strong all night long.
Yeah, Carly Gilk especially,
yes.
An impressive player. You can see it just in the way she warms up,
yep.
That she would be tough to contain. On Saturday, they were at the Park of Carthage Grove tournament. Started out with a loss to Two Rivers, 25-10 and 18. But bounced back with a win over South St. Paul, 25-23, 26-24. Coupled that with a impressive win over the Robbinsdale Cooper Hawks, 25-14 and 11. And then a 3-set loss to Faribault. Cardinals won the first, lost the second, and the third went to extra time, losing 16-14. On Monday, this is really pretty impressive. And tells you something about the character of this team. Maple Grove is 13, 14 wins on the season, something like that. They come out and they win 25, 18, and 13. Looking pretty good, not blowing them out, but handily winning those, especially the second set. Cardinals battle back and win 25, 20, and 21 and force it all the way to the fifth set. Yes, Maple Grove wins 15-6 in that fifth and final set, but down 2-0 to a team that is has had way more success, is way more favored. To fight your way back and force that fifth is a bit of a win.
Absolutely.
Only 3 matches left for the volleyball team. They're at Osseo tonight, Tuesday night, at Blaine on Thursday, and the next Monday they'll be at Chisago Lakes to take on the Wildcats. Swimming and diving team was up against the Rogers Royals last week, and again, this is a team that is seeing improvements top to bottom, start to finish, every time they hit the water. This time it's paying off a little better on the team score. You notice a lot of podium finishes there for the Cardinals against the Royals. Royals still able to win handily, but the Cardinal leaders, especially Lewis, Lovin, Hogarth, all hitting the podium in each of their 2 individual events and also part of those relays they got on the podium as well. The swimming and diving team will host Maple Grove on Thursday this week. They're at the Cambridge Isani Invite on Saturday. Well, the cross-country teams are hoping a lighter week this week will help them prepare for the section meet next Wednesday. Last week, the Cardinals were at Elm Creek Park for the Osseo Invite, and the results were promising. Both teams have shown consistent progress in their times, and they're hoping their best race is still yet to come. Both teams have struggled to keep everyone healthy, and it becomes a bigger issue later in the season. Osseo Invite, a great warm-up for the section meet. 18 teams, 137 runners at the starting line of the girls' race. Several Cardinals kept themselves toward the front of the pack for most of the course, and that helped the team place well. Another outstanding race for Ruby Demmer. She finishes 21st overall with a time of 20 minutes, 56.4 seconds. Lily McKenzie, a couple minutes back, but still a very respectable 59th place finish. Next to the finish line is Emmy Fuller, gutting it out at the end across in 23 minutes, 44.1 seconds, and that's 88th place. Hannah Burnt finishes in 100th place, just over 24 minutes, and Emily Borns is the fifth Cardinal to the line, taking 114th place in 24:49.1. Team finishes 14th. Boys race is even bigger, 22 teams participating and 146 runners setting off across the grounds at Elm Creek. Eventually, they get spread out along the course. Of course, Cardinals do well keeping pace with the leaders. It's another Demmer leading the way for the boys. Lachlan Demmer has a team best 24th place finish in 17:29 flat. Kel Norquist about 30 seconds behind him, crossing at 41st, just under 18 minutes. Owen James had a nice race, getting under 19, taking 77th place in 18:52.5. Josh Hyatt, Marco Velasquez, and Nehemiah Koo finished together. Koo slipping past Velasquez at the last second to take 96th place. That helps him factor into the team scoring. Either way, they were going to get 96th place, but it's his name ahead of Velasquez's. Cardinals finished 13th place as a team out of 22. So right about the middle.
Close to the middle. Yeah, there was a lot of runners involved in that race. Boy, it's crazy.
Yeah, and this week, their only real event is the Hoka 1 2-mile, which they do at the stadium on Thursday night. It's kind of a time trial, and I believe there's a charitable element involved with it. So something they've been doing the last couple of years. Gives them a chance to run on the track under the lights. Kind of a cool event. So they'll do that on Thursday this week. Next Wednesday rather, is the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships. And they're hoping. I said they've had a couple of guys and girls that are a little nicked up, hoping everybody's as healthy as possible.
Let's hope so.
To get their best race. I know at the beginning of the season, boys were talking about a chance to, and they really want to push for state. Top two finish next Wednesday would get them there.
We'll hope the weather maintains it nicely for them as well. Well, I thought you were going to say something. The soccer teams will wrap up the regular season this week. Last week, the boys team played a pair of conference games on the road. On Tuesday, they traveled to Totino Grace. The Eagles lost their first 6 games, but since then, they had gone 3-0-1. So they're riding some momentum when they welcome the Cardinals. Pick up the action in the second half. Totino up 1-0 and looking to add on. Francisco Cerna deep in the corner, sends a cross out front to Jabari Kabisu is there, and he sends the header home, and the Eagles are in front by 2. Totino Grace attacking with speed. Tennessee Doe's initial shot is stopped, but he gets his head on the rebound, and the Eagles starting to really pull away. You'll see more offense coming up in transition. Tanner Johnson working on the wing with help out front. Decides to take it to the edge himself. Shoots back across the grain for the goal. And TG is cruising up 4-0. Cardinals did get some chances to get on the board. Free kick from in close. Kish goes low and straight. Good pressure on the rebound, but the Eagles keeper is finally able to get on top and gain control. Another free kick coming up. Going direct this time from A.J. Sove. From a ways out, had it labeled for the upper corner, but a good save by the keeper maintains his shutout, and the Cardinals are going to fall by a score of 4-0.
Yeah, and we've talked about it for years, the struggles to find offense, and they've hit a bad patch on offense, especially over the last week and a half or so. It continued against Armstrong on Thursday last week, losing to the Falcons by a 2-0 score. Luke Rising, we talk about him a lot. He keeps them in a lot of games when they can't find a way to finish. Made 13 saves, but still a 2-0 loser.
Yeah, he's been solid in nets, no question.
Well, the Cardinals, as you mentioned, finished the regular season with a pair of home games this week, starting Monday when Park Center came to the stadium. Pirates came in with 8 wins, 4 ties, and only 2 losses. They didn't score a ton of goals, but they'd only allowed 15 goals in their 14 games, including 5 shutouts. It would be a very tough team for the Cardinals to try to end their scoring drought. Pirates had a lot of ball possession in this one. After having a goal waved off early, they get on the board off a bad bounce. Titus Lee trying to cross down deep. Ben Kish tried to block, went off him into the net. Well, they didn't have the ball too much. Cardinals did create some good scoring chances, trying to feed this one into the middle. Adam Kish is going to have a chance on the bouncing ball right there, but ends up going up and over out of play. Still in the first half, corner kick from A.J. Silve. Nathan Hebern able to get a strong shot off as he spins. The Pirates keeper able to make a diving save. Pirates lead 1-0 at the break. Park Center controlled most of the action again in the second, but they don't add to their lead until the final 10 minutes. Shadrach Tamba gets around the corner, finds Isaac Nepo all alone out front. He settles and scores. Pirates hand the Cardinals their 4th straight shutout, 2-0 the final again.
That Park Center team is pretty good. They had 2 goals waved off. And I thought the guys played pretty well. They just couldn't get on the scoring.
Yeah, just not. And that again, Park Center just did such a nice job of possessing the ball and just not allowing the Cardinals any time to set up. They had their opportunities, but not able to bury any of them, unfortunately. And now they've got just 1 game left in the regular season. They host Champlin on Wednesday, and Howie,
we'll be there.
Then they start sections next Tuesday. And Champlin Park's going to be a tough team to try and break that scoreless streak as well.
That is for sure. It's quite the challenge. Well, the girls' soccer team also played a pair on the road last week, starting with a trip to Totino Grace on Tuesday. The Eagles, they were just below 500, but they're playing stellar defense recently, allowing just 5 goals in their previous 6 games. It would make incredibly difficult considering the Cardinals struggled to score all season. Totino Grace bringing pressure early and often. Cece Linders marked well by Caitlin Griffith. On this play, that allows Stella Bone a chance to boot it away out of danger. But the Eagles, they capitalized on the corner kick served into the middle. Olivia Schroeder able to jump on the loose ball and get the home team on the board first. And they'd strike again before the break off a free kick off the side of the midfield. They fired down the middle and create a foot race. Elena Ingram able to get there first, slip it past the diving Bone. 2-0 Totino at the half. Eagles on the attack again early in the second. Mia Silva right out in front. The spinning shot turned away by Bone. Defense able to clear. Eagles on the run again. Grace Cruz sends it in behind the defense. Bone charges out and is able to keep it away from Schroeder the last second. Bone stood up well to consistent pressure, but the Eagles fly away with the win. Another long through ball. Schroeder gets in all alone on Bone. She had her 2nd goal of the game. Totino Grace has a 3-0 win.
Well, how's that for a bounce back?
Isn't that nice?
On Saturday, girls went up to Cambridge Isani and put up a 4.
Really nice. Really
4
nice
different goal scorers: Sophia Backery, Kaylin Green, Tessa Delfrat, and Stiegman had the goals for the Cardinals. Or no, Backery had 2 goals. Green had 2 assists. Right. The monitor's a long ways away, and the print is really small.
Are you saying you're old? Your eyes are old?
Well, it was good to have, for the girls to have some momentum coming home, and the Cardinals certainly kept the offense flowing on Monday. It helps that they were playing a winless Park Center team that has struggled even more than the Cardinals all season long, and I mean really struggled to score. But it was still fun to see the dam burst open and watch this offense have so much fun, having so much to celebrate. Cardinals were dominant in this one from start to finish, and they start scoring in the 7th minute. First shot blocked. Grace Stevenson steps into it, fires it just under the crossbar. That starts the scoring. Stevenson had herself a night. Pirates couldn't get out of their own zone. Weak pass. Stevenson sends it perfectly lofted shot up and over the keeper, and the Cards have a 2-goal lead. Less than a minute later, almost the exact same spot, this time on a free kick for Isabel Allen, almost the exact same shot, and you get the same result. Cardinals start to fly away. It was senior night, and the seniors were shining. Great little touch pass here gets it where Anna Langworthy can run onto it. She buries it. 4 goals from 3 different seniors, not even midway through the first. Moved on to the second half. Langworthy on the run, hits the brakes, tees it up for Kaylin Green. She lofts it up and over the keeper. Cardinals make it a 5-0 lead. Cardinals got a free kick or a penalty kick midway through. They get another senior on the score sheet. Salinas Cardenas Lazo strikes it to the corner. The smiles and celebrations continue. Stevenson had herself a couple of assists in this one, too. She sets another one up for Green, another high arcing shot, and the keeper can't reach. Second of the night for Green. Stevenson again looking to distribute, and it leads to another senior goal scored. Bailey Rowe's shot is stopped, but Michelle Saw right there on the doorstep to tuck it home. That made it 8-1. And we are still not done because 2 goals and 3 assists was not enough. Stevenson races this one in all on her own, completes her hat trick. That was with about 10 minutes left. It ends the scoring. Cardinals run away with a 9-1 win.
It was a lot of fun to see them score 9 goals. We talked about all season long how much trouble they've had scoring, but then 4 goals on Saturday and 9 goals last night. It's pretty impressive.
Well, and we had talked a little bit about it on Sportsnight last week, and then during the game last night as well. Even getting the 4-1, 5-1 losses they've had in previous weeks, just before the Totino game, they were scoring in almost every. I think going into last night's game, they had scored at least 1 goal in 5 of the last 6 games. That's progress. To see the dam burst open, you always look at it. We talked about that last night too. You always look at it and you say, I couldn't just save a little bit of that offense for another night, spread it out a little bit.
I'll take it.
But you got to take it when you can, and against a team like Park Center where they had a little bit more room, a little bit more time with the ball. They were able to get things to work a little bit better. And it was a lot of fun, and they were clearly trying to get all the seniors involved, and they got almost all of them on the score sheet. That's pretty cool.
Well, they dominated, and possession was clearly in their favor all night long. And for them to play a team like Park Center, and it's almost like an opportunity to get well and away, and they've got a tough one coming up, and then sections, but at least you'll be able to score 9 goals in a game, so we can get the offense going.
4 wins on the season.
Yep,
this
like
team
it.
only had 1 last season.
Yep.
They had 5 the season previous. If they can chalk one up against Champlin or maybe steal one in the playoffs, they could equal that.
Let's hope it happens.
Stay positive. They've got Champlin again on Wednesday, and Howie.
We'll be there.
And then sections start next Tuesday. We will have that soccer doubleheader against Champlin Park tomorrow night, Wednesday night, live starting at 5 o'clock. Then we hope to have a football game, but it is not looking very likely. Apparently Maple Grove has their own broadcast partner. Something about Dad Cam, I don't know. But really would like to be there.
We should be there.
We're certainly hoping, and I'll tune into the Crimson Sports Network if I must. But we'll be there certainly in spirit, and then we'll have soccer playoffs first part of next week. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro and the man who makes it all happen, Neil Hennon, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.